until this corona pandemic is over. We urge you, the people of Biafra, to be one another's keeper, to be your brother's keeper. I am piloting a kind of a conferencing call for us to be using in this broadcast. But we are still having some technical difficulties. I have got some people on the line, but I don't know whether they are hearing me. I will have to go to them at some point, but it is very important that we understand the time that we are in. Right. Can you hear me? Those who are joining me should mute their unmute their microphone. Can you hear me? No. I may have to, of course, do something. Of course, I will continue with the audio broadcast. I will continue with the audio broadcast. I cannot hear some of the people who are, of course, with me here, but we will have to continue to try to make whatever we can, do whatever we can until we get the clear message loud and clear. We are in a precarious situation. Our people must understand that there are people who are going about using the name of the Biafran project that we have embarked upon to do all manner of things. We are in the age of technology, the age of enlightenment, and we continue to urge our people to be very self-critical of everything we are doing, of everything they are doing, of everything any one of us is doing. We urge every one of us to be vigilant at this particular point in time. I may have to, of course, disengage with this because it appears people are not hearing me, but I will have to come back to them at some point. There is a very wrongful information going round on the internet regarding the fact that Biafra is now registered with United Nations. It is very important that our people understand what the issues are. Our people have gone round asking me questions and some other principal officers about the fact that IPOB has been on the forefront or at the forefront of championing Biafra at least since 2013, 2014, 2015 up until date. But they have not been able to register Biafra on the floor of United Nations. And as such, some people are coming up this period telling us, and even coming to me and telling me or asking me what IPOB is doing, that Biafra Independent Movement, or MASOB, has effectively registered Biafra with the United Nations. And they came up with evidence with which to taunt IPOB as IPOB is doing nothing. They came up with such, and they have been circulating it, and people are going about bragging over the whole issue. I want to clarify one information here. It is very important that our people understand what is actually going on. It is very important that at this age and time that our people are armed with accurate and authentic information regarding what we are doing. It is very important at the same time that our people are actually guarding this Biafra Restoration project jealously and proudly too. There is this wrong information, as I have mentioned, going around saying that Biafra has been registered at the United Nations, that Biafra is now a member of the United Nations. Some people go as far as taunting IPOB, asking IPOB what IPOB is doing. And I feel that it is very important that you use correct information to deal with whatever you are dealing with, rather than using very fake and unsubstantiated claims, all in the name of wooing the people of Biafra because they are passionate about everything they are doing. There is an international NGO called UNPO, Unrepresented Peoples, Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization. That NGO has offices around the world, including the United States of America. It has offices in different parts of Europe. And we want to use the opportunity to tell our people that such international NGO, Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization, a very credible organization for that matter, a very effective organization, I must say, for championing the cause of human rights and fundamental freedom of those whose human rights have been trampled upon, of people who call themselves nations within different countries, or people who call themselves a group, but they are politically disenfranchised, they are economically emaciated in terms of their progress on the economic front. Their lands are taken away from them. Indigenous peoples in different parts of the world that are being prevented from laying claim to their homeland. UNPO advocates for the right of such people, but it has nothing to do with the United Nations. It has no alliance, or it's not an affiliate member of the United Nations. It is not a UN organ. It is not a UN Charter organization. It has nothing in terms of connection with United Nations organization. But because the name is UNPO, a lot of people think that it is part of United Nations. And that is the scam that is going on now in different parts of Biafra land, being propagated by MASOB and Biafra Independence Movement under Chief Ralph Wazulike. And it is very unfair, it is unacceptable, it is reprehensible for anyone to use that as a yardstick to measure the level to which Biafra restoration effort has gone. or to cast aspersion on IPOB. Because in the first place, that claim is wrong, it is deceptive, it is fraudulent. UNPO, All Represented Nations and Peoples Organization, has consultative status with ECOSOC. ECOSOC is United Nations Economic and Social Council. And for avoidance of doubt, the NGO part or department of ECOSOC, which is also known as United Nations Department for Economic Affairs, encourages NGOs in different countries of the world to aspire to live up to their purposes and objectives by holding government account, by advocating for the rights of the vulnerable and minority in different countries where they are. They do things like giving support for Millennium Development Goals, women's education, child rights, freedom of expression, and good governance. A lot of things in that area. Sustainable development projects. But it has nothing to do with political status of a country or any group of people. So anybody telling you that registering as an NGO with the Department of Economic Affairs of ECOSOC, the NGO branch of ECOSOC, now translates to being given the right to self-determination, or asserting that such people have now got their independence, are on the verge of getting their independence, is a lie. And that is such devilish propaganda that people are pushing around. Disregard it. Do not take my words for it. Go and Google UNPO. Look at what they are all about. A very credible organization, I repeat. A very responsible organization, I repeat. An organization that has done so much in the past years and decades. But it has nothing to do with United Nations. And anybody telling you that they are now registered with United Nations because they are now admitted as part of UNPO, that person is a liar. Such group of people are scammers, and that is what we are not going to allow in our midst. As a matter of fact, we had wanted to register with that organization as far back as 2014, but at some point we had to stop because we considered that instead of registering with them and then they going to United Nations Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, and talking about issues that are concerning us, advocating for us, it is better that we go there and register by ourselves. So, anybody bragging to you that Biafra is now registered with United Nations, I want to tell that person that there are Igbo associations that have consultative status with United Nations Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC. I posted about 2 or 3 of them on my Facebook page, Facebook profile. Even Bilia Human Rights Initiative has consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council, but they have not brought down heavens. This is as far back as 2013, 2014. So let no scammers, for any reason, tell you nonsense about what we are doing. We have not claimed that Biafra has come. We have not claimed that Biafra is now a member of United Nations. We haven't claimed that. There are a lot of work still being done, but we are not one place. We are moving. We are very much engaged with the United Nations human rights agencies because we have been told about certain things that we need to do, and we are following methodically. We must have to understand where we have come from. Biafra Restoration Project is a renewed effort at restoring the land of Biafra that was wrongly robbed us. As you can see, everything is unraveling as we speak. When you talk about people who have made tremendous effort and sacrifices regarding Biafra restoration effort, you cannot complete that story without mentioning IPOB, led by our indefatigable, unstoppable, sagacious leader, Mazi Nnamdi. And evidence abounds. Everything you can think of in terms of proving that is out there in the public domain. And so, let no one tell you otherwise. There are some organizations who profess to be fighting for Biafra, but today a number of them are working with Nigerian politicians in a way that is so much inimical, a description to even delving. And such organization does not have any local standing. It has no moral authority to speak on what IPOB is doing. We have followed it the hard way. We have gone a long way in making sure that the gospel of Biafra Restoration Project is engraved in the hearts of men, even in the hearts of our enemies. And nobody can dispute that. As a matter of fact, we have so much respect for all the pro-Biafra organizations. And we, of course, acknowledge their right to exist. But it is unacceptable when such organizations go about trying to undermine what we are doing. We are not going to take it lightly. Such is what members of MASOB and the Biafra Independence Movement are doing with this fraudulent claim that they are circulating around. They have gone as far as publishing it on Vanguard. I don't want to delve into it. You need to go and read what they are saying. But one message that is clear this evening to everyone is that Biafra has not been admitted as a member of United Nations. For avoidance of that publication has misleading headline, and there is no evidence that suggests that being a member, an NGO member of a third party organization to ECOSOC gives you the right to be recognized as an independent nation. So anywhere you see such people propagating such falsehood, go after them in terms of exposing them. The Biafra independence movement, led by Chief Ralph Wazurike, has for quite some time now been on the ground. When IPOB is at the forefront, men and women are dying. They will not do anything. What they do is to be playing local politics. Some of them are now telling you that they now have Biafra internal government. IPOB is at the forefront, doing all manner of things to make sure that the dignity of Biafrans are respected. But some charlatans, some unscrupulous individuals are out there reaping where they did not sow. It is very important that you understand what we are saying here. There is a very fraudulent claim and deceptive information being circulated around, all in the name to taunt IPOB, where we remain, as always, very much proud of what we have done and what we are still going to do. And we shall, at all times, with every amount of confidence, state it that we are up for scrutiny in terms of what we are doing. We must not allow anybody to deliberately disrespect what we are doing here, because men and women have died. Our brothers and sisters have died because of this cause, and therefore do not allow them anywhere. I will elaborate more on this, but because of the technical issues having, because I wanted an interactive session on Facebook, I will want to look into one or two things. I will come back in the next couple of minutes and I will send another link for people to join. But suffice it to say that everybody is at alert at this particular point in time. Nobody can deceive us anymore. Not even IPOB can deceive you. Anywhere you don't understand any issue, ask question. It's very important. We must be very open to public scrutiny because we are serving the people. At the same time, we, the IPOB family members, cannot allow anybody or group of people to cast aspersion, albeit negatively, on what we are doing. One of such unacceptable conduct is this fraudulent claim, and it is very shameful that Biafra is now registered as the 46th member. I don't know how they worded it, but go and look at the deceptive publication. We must all warn all those who are peddling these lies to desist, because it is not very good for our image, and it has to be debunked openly. It is not something anybody can come and tell you, oh, don't talk, don't give them publicity. We have to give them that publicity if they need it, and I'll bet negatively, because if you keep quiet, this is age of technology, this is 21st century. If you keep quiet, then after a short period of time, a lie will become the truth. People will begin to accept it as the truth, and therefore we are not going to allow that. Biafra has not registered anywhere as member of United Nations. The so-called Biafra organization has simply gone to register with an international NGO that has people who are also struggling for their right to self-determination as members. There is nothing wrong with registering with UNPO. There's nothing wrong with being a member of UNPO. And like I said, that organization is a credible and very effective organization, especially in the advocacy aspect. But it is not also acceptable for anyone to come and claim that as a result of registering with an international NGO, that translates to being registered at the United Nations. That is a mega lie, a mega deception that must be challenged vehemently and without looking back. This will be a follow-up presentation because of one or two issues that I'm having on this scheduled broadcast, especially those of us on Facebook. We want to take a short break and then come back. But suffice it to say that we are Biafrans. We are the indigenous people of Biafra, and no one can stop this Biafra restoration project. And no one can cast aspersion on us and go scot-free. Of course, we will do everything within the law, within the permissible limits of the law, to challenge such. I'll be back in a minute. I think I need to disconnect our people who are. I need to disconnect our people who are on Facebook. I will have to come back. I don't know whether they are hearing me. I will have to come back.
wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are, on the surface of this very planet, even those who are submerged in submarines, Biafrans who are serving in civilized armed forces all over the world, because I got a message that they listen to this very enlightening, very expository and delightful gospel of the restoration of Biafra. And this evening, it doesn't matter where you are. It could be your morning, it could be your afternoon, it could be your midnight. I welcome each and every one of you, and as I do so, I will encourage you to welcome those who are around you, even if they are far away from you. It is your duty and your responsibility to ensure that the propagation of this very gospel is without any hindrance. Do not respect any barriers, and of course is there to enlighten those who otherwise would have been lost in darkness and in stupidity. Here we enlighten. Here we chase darkness away. Here we do the will of God in heaven. Here we preach for the restoration of the kingdom of heaven upon the face of the earth. The promise of old, because Elohim never changes, and because of that, I am very confident that Biafra will come in our time, and that very time is now. If you do not have your pen and paper ready, then I do not believe that this is the class you need to be attending, because here we dissect, and then we stitch things back up together again, that nothing is hidden. It doesn't matter how they try to do it. Here we have the very finest intelligence service anywhere on this very planet Earth. On this very platform, on this very radio Biafra, do we propagate the truth, can never ever be hidden. Wherever you're listening to us from, I can assure you this very moment, this very precise minute, that is light upon you. That is light upon you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. And unlike anywhere else, this is Radio Biafra. Every country on this very earth is listening to us. There are many ways by which or through which you can do that. You can listen via my page on radio, on Facebook, of course, which is Mazi Nnamdi kanu. You can listen via Radio Biafra page, also on Facebook. You can listen to us via tuning. You can listen via Simple Radio. Radio Biafra is on FM in the blessed land of Biafra. I believe I am not mistaken when I say that 3/4 of Biafra land is covered on FM. We are also on satellite. We have Radio Biafra app. Should you wish to participate or take part in this very program this evening, you are more than welcome to do so. I know that this zoo is vibrating, and of course it should vibrate. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, and by the very special grace of Chukwukikabiama Prominjanine, Elohim in heaven, Tamuno, Abasingbong, I welcome each and every one of you, because I'm here to serve you until the end of time, and Biafra will come. And one of the ways through which that restoration will be made possible is by this very relentless dissection of the abomination that is the Zoological Republic. Damnable Zoological Republic of Nigeria. Anybody who wishes to belong to that place, may God have mercy upon your soul. because things are happening, and this evening we shall reveal all of them. Those things are hiding this evening, and about how thought the world will know about it. And then you make up your mind where you belong. For me and my household, we belong to Biafra. And the only mechanism or machinery that can bring that about is IPOB. That is why we are steadfastly glued to this very effort without any wavering, without any fear, without any prevarication, without any retreat nor surrender. We are live and the whole world is listening. Do you know how you can determine if a program is live? It is by looking at the clock on your wall, or looking at the wristwatch you're wearing, or looking in front of your phone. It doesn't matter where you are. The time now is exactly 8 minutes past the top of the hour. Regardless of where you are in the world, it is 8 minutes past the top of the hour. In Biafran, it is 8 minutes past 7 p.m. Check it. That is how you know we are live and we are direct. And humanity is at a standstill. Everywhere people are listening. There are some under the bed. There are some who are in their cars outside telling their wives that they are working on the car that there is something wrong with the battery of the car, that the alternator is not working. But they have an earpiece and they listen to Radio Biafra. Humanity will bear us witness, because we have come that the zoo may fall. As always, we commence our proceedings this evening by committing it to the hands of Elohim in heaven. That same Chukwu, the God Almighty, the I am that I am, the Ancient of Days, the Ancient of the Ancients, the Creator of everything that you see around you. Nothing made Elohim. He was before time began. And his goodness lasts forever. And it is upon the promise of that goodness that we anchor this very restoration, that Biafra may come in our time. And we will show the whole world that black people are not animals after all. We want to prove it in our time, in our lifetime, and we're going to do it. That is why we say unequivocally that man cannot stop what we are doing. It doesn't matter who you are. You cannot stop it. If you're in doubt, come out on any social media platform, do a video and say to us, over my dead body will Biafra come, and you will see what will happen to you. Then you know that our mission is divine. That this very IPOB is not two, is only one. And its purpose is being fulfilled before our very eyes. We must pray wherever we are. I wanted to pray in the language of heaven, but people are imploring me that they want to understand the prayers that I pray, that I should try to pray in English. And this very evening, with all
Biafra, anyị dị na ọwụwa anyanwụ, mmiri zobe zocha anwụ ga-awa, ikuku kube kucha anwụ ga-awa, ulukwu kube kucha anwụ ga-awa. Biafra ga-adịgide wee ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Biafra ga-adịgide wee ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Ikwere na Biafra, Biafra, Biafra. Ikwere na Biafra, wenyere m ofe aka gị elu. Ikwere na Biafra, Biafra, Biafra. Ikwere na Biafra, wenyere m ofe aka gị elu. Nwanne ikwere na Biafra, Biafra, nwe mmeri. Ikwere na Biafra, wenyere m ofe aka gị elu. Ikwere na Biafra, Biafra, Biafra. Ikwere na Biafra, wenyere m ofe aka gị elu. Ikwere na Biafra, Biafra, nwe mmeri. Ikwere na Biafra, wenyere m ofe aka gị elu. Ikwere na Biafra, Biafra, Biafra. Ikwere na Biafra, wenyere m ofe aka gị elu. Adomina, Adomina, oh. Adomina, 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 oh. Adomina, Adomina, Adomina. Ochina magawa chanyo. Adomina, Adomina, Adomina. Anyamankwe, anyamankwe, oh. Anyamankwe, anyamankwe. Adomina, Adomina, oh. Adomina, Adomina, Adomina. Adomina, Adomina, oh. Adomina, Adomina, Adomina. Ochina magawa chanyo. Adomina, Adomina, Adomina. Anyamankwe, anyamankwe, oh. Anyamankwe, anyamankwe, anyamankwe. Ezekworaga chanyo. Anyamankwe, anyamankwe, anyamankwe. Rising sun, we love and cherish. Beloved homeland of our great heroes. We must defend our lives or we shall perish. We must protect our soul from all our foes. But if the price is dead for all we hold dear, then let us die without a shred of fear. Hey, land of the rising sun, we love and cherish. Beloved homeland of our great heroes. We must defend our lives or we shall perish. We must protect our souls.
Your business idea needs a website? So go to Wix.com. I know what you're thinking, another Wix app.
See what I mean? Sorry. Go nowhere. We have another similar name, Don Prince.
Our souls from all our foes. But if the price is there for all we hold dear, then let us die without a shred of fear. N'ihi na nkwụcha bụ ụjọ, anyị kempụta n'ihi na nkwụcha bụ ụjọ. Onye ndị iro na-achụgharị na-eche ndụ ya chere mgbe niile. Ndị iro gbara anyị okirikiri, ụmụnne m. Ndị iro gbara anyị gburugburu, Biafra. Anyị ga-eke nkwụcha n'ihi na nkwụcha bụ ụjọ. Anyị kempụta n'ihi na nkwụcha bụ ụjọ. Onye ndị iro na-achụgharị na-eche ndụ ya chere mgbe niile. Kama mụ ga-abụrụ sabo ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha. Kama mụ ga-ezogharị ba ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha. Obi ga-adị m mma. Kama mụ ga-abụrụ sabo ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha. Kama mụ ga-ezogharị ba ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha. Obi ga-adị m mma. Nwanne m, kama mụ ga-abụrụ sabo ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha. Kama mụ ga-abụrụ sabo ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha. Obi ga-adị m ụtọ. Kama mụ ga-abụrụ sabo ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha. Kama mụ ga-ezogharị ba ka nwa n'ihu agha, ka nwa n'ihu agha. Obi ga-adị m mma. Abụ m nwokorobịa, arụ siri m ike. Achọrọ m iji ru agha ka nje nụọra na nna m agha. Abụ m nwokorobịa, arụ siri m ike. Achọrọ m iji ru agha ka nje nụọra na nna m agha. Nwasisi m chọrọ ịnụ, ọ sị meje na agha. Nwa bebi m chọrọ ịnụ, ọ sị meje na agha. Meri si meje na agha, mmeri nwanyị mma. Meri si meje n'ọgụ, mmeri nwanyị. Meri si meje n'ọgụ, mmeri nwanyị mma. Meri si meje n'agha, mmeri nwanyị ọma. Ọbụrụ na meje agha, mmeri nwanyị mma. Ndị iro ga-akpụrụ gị, mmeri nwanyị ọma. Ọbụrụ na meje ọgụ, mmeri nwanyị mma. Ndị iro ga-abịakwa mee gị, mmeri nwanyị ọma. Meri si meje n'agha, mmeri nwanyị mma. Meri si meje n'ọgụ, mmeri nwanyị ọma. Putinyanka, ụmụ Biafra, ụmụ Biafra. Unu kwadobe ka je busa ndị iro agha. Kwadobe ka je nụsa ndị iro bụ. Egwu agaghị atụ anyị, anyị nọ n'aka Chineke. Egwu agaghị atụ anyị, anyị nọ n'aka Chineke. Unu kwadobe ka je busa ndị iro agha. Unu kwadobe ka je nụsa ndị iro bụ. Unu kwadobe ka je busa ndị iro agha. Unu kwadobe ka je nụsa ndị iro bụ. Ụjọ agaghị atụ anyị, na anyị nọ n'aka Chineke. Ụjọ agaghị atụ anyị, anyị nọ n'aka Chineke. Nne, aga m akọlụ n'akụkọ mpịtị kwelu na Napoleon Biafra, River Niger, Kedi Nonicha, Eba Chizezri na Yabu Nukwachaga. Anom na Monujo, na Luko Nikaka, Anom na Monujo, na Luko Nikaka, Oyikana Raho Amaye Chie, Oyikana Raho Amaye Chie. Oyikana o amaye chie, Oyikana o amaye chie, Ojiosa gogu na mai na gubong, Ojiosa gogu